Hey there, welcome to the 1980s. Maxine Minx, an aspiring Hollywood actress, finally lands a big opportunity, but a dangerous killer is on the loose, and he might just expose her darkest secrets. Let's dive into the story. It begins with an old home video from 1959. Maxine's father, a preacher, is seen praising her dance moves. Even as a little girl, Maxine believed she was meant for something more. Fast forward to 1985. Maxine is now a well-known face in adult films. But she's starting to question if this path was ever right for her. She wants more, real fame, and feels like her time in that industry is running out. She's desperate for a breakthrough in mainstream movies. During an audition, Maxine is asked to act out pain. She nails the scene, showing intense emotion. Afterward, she mocks the other actresses waiting to audition and walks out. At the same time, the news is filled with terrifying updates about a serial killer called the Night Stalker, who's spreading fear throughout Los Angeles. The entertainment world is changing, and tensions are rising. Maxine arrives at a strip club and heads to a section called the Flight Crew. While getting ready, the news continues to report on the Night Stalker. Backstage, Amber complains that Maxine is difficult to work with and invites her to a party in the Hollywood Hills. Maxine turns her down, saying she's got something else going on. Amber grumbles and walks off, while Maxine continues her usual routine to prepare for her shift. Later, Maxine gets a call from her manager, Teddy Knight. He tells her she didn't get the music video role because producers think she's only known in the adult film world. Frustrated, Maxine wonders how she'll ever break into real films if no one will give her a shot. She goes to a video store and asks her friend Leon to list actors who started in horror movies. After he names a few, Maxine adds herself to the list. She just got a role in a horror film called Puritan 2. She's hopeful this is her chance to cross over into mainstream fame. But Leon reminds her that most big stars didn't come from adult films. Still, they decide to celebrate with takeout. Later, Maxine dances seductively at Show World for a mystery man. After her shift, she waits outside for her friend Tabby Martin. Tabby is nervous about being out at night with the Night Stalker around and invites Maxine to the same Hollywood Hills party. Maxine says no, she's got an early audition. At a food stand, Maxine tells Tabby about her audition. Tabby's surprised but congratulates her. She mentions a friend who acts in regular movies but makes less money than a porn star. Maxine argues that money still matters. When Maxine mentions her horror role, Tabby doubts it'll take her far. As Tabby leaves for the party, she tells Maxine to be careful, but Maxine insists she can handle herself. As Maxine walks alone through the streets, she doesn't notice someone following her. She turns into a narrow alley and finds a locked gate. When she turns back, the man reveals a knife and says she can't escape. Calmly, Maxine pulls out her gun. She forces him to strip and kneel, then orders him to lie flat. She coldly warns him that the last man who tried something similar ended up horribly. Then, with her stiletto heel, she stomps on him, leaving him in agony. Later, Maxine relaxes with Leon on the couch while watching Puritan. A knock at the door gets her attention. She sees the elevator doors closing and finds an envelope addressed to her. Inside is a VHS tape. She plays it. It's an old adult film from 1979 starring her. She quickly removes it from the player as Leon wakes up and asks if everything's fine. He soon heads out. Meanwhile, a man named John Labatt watches her from across the street and tells his passenger he's found her. But he warns that if they want more help, it'll cost extra. No more risky moves without more pay. In a large mansion, a man records himself entering a room where sobbing can be heard. Inside, Amber and Tabby are gagged and blindfolded. Tabby is dragged away, and when one of the captors gets rough, she fights back, causing chaos. The next day, Maxine is on the set of Puritan. A crew member prepares to make a mold of her head but stops when she sees a scar on Maxine's arm. Maxine explains she was shot but doesn't give details. The woman applies the molding material to Maxine's head and steps away. Standing still, Maxine remembers the time Pearl abused her in 1979. Pearl's haunting words, "You'll end up just like me," echo in her mind. When someone touches her shoulders, Maxine panics. She rips off the molding material, gasping in fear. Elsewhere, detectives Torres and Williams inspect two women's bodies in a cemetery. They think the Night Stalker may be responsible, but something doesn't add up. The bodies, Maxine's friends, have pentagram symbols on them. Tabby has it on her back, Amber has it on her cheek. Back in her car, Maxine finds a note with a phone number and an old yearbook photo of herself. She calls. A man answers, gives her an address, and threatens to reveal what happened in Texas if she doesn't show. She meets John, a private investigator. He won't say who hired him but starts listing names from The Farmer's Daughters, a film from Maxine's past. She denies being involved in any deaths but admits her past still haunts her. John offers her a deal: come to a meeting or lose her shot at stardom. He hands her an envelope full of news clippings from the massacre and walks away. At home, detectives question Maxine about her missing co-stars. She refuses to speak. She takes the tape she got earlier to Leon. He checks it but finds no clues about its maker. He suggests she track down the store that sells that specific tape brand. While driving, Maxine hears more news about the Night Stalker. Feeling the pressure, she heads to meet Elizabeth Bender, the director of her new film. Liz tells Maxine the producers didn't want to cast her because of her adult film background, but she fought for her. Liz explains Maxine's character and says she needs full commitment to make it work. Maxine promises she's ready. Liz drives her to a shabby old motel, once the set of a famous horror film. She wants Maxine to visit the next day and meet another actress. Maxine feels uneasy. It reminds her of Pearl. Liz warns her that only the obsessed survive in Hollywood. As Maxine leaves, she spots John following her. She stops, confronts him, and hits him. John insists he's just paparazzi and warns her she has more to lose than just a job. Maxine visits Teddy and confesses what happened in Texas years ago. He's shocked but tells her not to worry, he'll handle the detectives. He reminds her to focus on becoming a star. Back home, she reads her script. Meanwhile, Leon closes the store for the night, unaware the Night Stalker is hiding inside. The killer attacks and stabs Leon. Then, they climb into John's car, catching his attention. The next morning, Teddy calls Maxine about John. Looking out the window, she sees police cars. She rushes outside and sees Leon's body but is held back from approaching. At the morgue, Torres and Williams show Maxine the bodies of her coworkers. They believe someone is using the Night Stalker killings as a cover. All the victims are connected to Maxine, which raises their suspicions. They start pressing her, suggesting she might know more, or even be working with the killer. Maxine refuses to help. Williams follows her outside and begs her to assist them in stopping more murders. Maxine coldly replies that the next victim should save themselves, just like she did. During filming, Liz adjusts the camera shots. Maxine arrives late and apologizes. Liz warns her not to let it happen again. She introduces Maxine to Molly Bennett, the film's star. Molly advises Maxine to follow Liz's directions exactly to keep getting roles. Then she leaves for a party in the hills. Maxine wanders the set and sees John, now armed and out for revenge. He chases her to the Psycho Motel, but a guard stops him at the door. Liz calls Maxine, telling her to rest before filming starts again. She reminds Maxine to cut out anything that could ruin the production. That night, Maxine dances at the club. John shows up, and she tricks him into following her to the bathrooms, then escapes through a window. Outside, John is ambushed by Teddy and his men. John wakes up tied up in a car. Without delay, they start crushing it with him inside. Maxine, back home, is ready to move on. But news of the Night Stalker stirs her memories. She remembers her friends were at the same party Molly is attending. She heads there, unaware the detectives are tailing her. She arrives at a remote house, the same place her friends were held. Inside, she hears her father's voice. She opens a door and finds an old home video of him. Suddenly, her father, Ernest Miller, appears. He says he finally found her and wants to take her home. He takes her weapon and reveals he's filming a movie, with her as the star. He believes Hollywood has corrupted her and plans to perform a twisted exorcism. A suitcase tumbles down the stairs. Molly's severed head spills out. Maxine is frozen. Her father suffocates her with a plastic bag. They struggle until she goes limp. Suddenly, we cut to her audition scene for Puritan 2. Maxine boldly says she's the best choice for the role. But in reality, she's tied up, surrounded by her father's followers. Ernest claims he's saving her soul and filming it as proof that Hollywood is evil. He rants about exposing the devil in the industry and says Maxine will be redeemed, unlike her friends. He's about to burn a pentagram into her skin when the detectives burst in. Ernest screams for his followers to fight. His robe catches fire, and he dives into the pool. Gunfire breaks out. Maxine grabs a knife and fights back. Torres is mortally wounded and confesses his dream of being an actor before dying. Maxine and Williams chase her father to the Hollywood sign. There, Maxine finds her father wounded. He begs for forgiveness, saying he created a monster. Reinforcements arrive just in time. Later, news reports say the real Night Stalker was finally caught. Maxine appears on a talk show with Teddy, bravely sharing her story about killing her father to survive. She says she's thankful her dreams finally came true. Her story is being turned into a film by Liz. Maxine encourages women to walk away from lives they don't believe they deserve. She remembers her father's last words. He didn't fail her, he gave her what she needed, even if it ended in tragedy. A month later, Liz asks Maxine how it feels to be so close to stardom. Maxine smiles and says she hopes the feeling never goes away. Thanks for watching, see you next time.